Good morning, YouTube. Welcome back to the show. Today, I am joined by an actual Newcastle fan. Yes, I'm not the only one. This Newcastle fan, he actually lives in Newcastle. His name is PD Proudlock. He's a fellow YouTuber. I'll leave a link to his channel in the description below. PD Proudlock and I were both previously part of the fan cams on the Newcastle Fans TV channel, and that's where we kind of met, I suppose. Since then, he's gone and created his own channel. I've created mine, and we subscribe to one another. So we thought, well, why not get together and make some content? It's different talking to a fan who actually lives in Newcastle. He can actually see the state of the training ground, the stadium. He can actually see what's going on there. So I find it really, really cool to talk to him about these things that I don't have sight of living where I live. If you like this video, please like, share, subscribe, and all those good things. And yeah, enjoy the video.
Is ambition at this football club, new investment which is needed, not in terms of the squad of getting new players, but in terms of investment in the ground, where it's been starved of it, training ground, which new training facilities are needed as well.
Please tell me how bad the facilities are, because
Look,
I've
so
never
bad.
seen it. I mean,
It's
know.
so bad. I've seen photos of players doing cool downs in paddling pools and
wheelbarrows,
wheelie bins as well. And you think, is that it? A Premier League club that gets 52,000 fans week in, week out, and we see players doing training exercising in them. It's been an absolute joke. And that is all down to the previous ownership under Mike Ashley, because again, he stopped with the investment, and that's why the club was so badly ran down. There was a lot of toxic between the fan base. The owners didn't communicate with the fans. We just wanted answers on what was going on, and that's why this takeover was so needed badly. We're getting communication from the new owners, which is good.
Yeah. Are you part of any fan community, or any fans trust, or any sort of company that represents?
No. I've just got my own channel, which I do like to do my Newcastle content on.
Yeah, no, for sure, and link in the description for sure. And all
Thank
that
you very
jazz.
much.
Yeah, no, of course, 100%. Yeah, so just coming back to the state of the training ground and the investment that needs to be made now. So yeah, the training ground, I believe we do have some kind of indoor facility that I often see the players training at. I don't know if that was built during the Mike Ashley regime, or if that's also
I think that has still been there, yes. I mean, that's been there for a long time.
It was at pre Mike Ashley, that indoor facility.
Yeah, something like that, all from the beginning.
It seems like he basically he bought the club, put up his sports director arena signs. That was it, and then he didn't do anything else.
Exactly. He just wanted it to advertise these other companies, and it was just about the money coming in at the end of the season. That's what he was all bothered about when he was owner of this football club as well. And he didn't care anything. He didn't care about the fan base. Wanted no ambition at this football club. He just wanted the team to survive by the skin of their teeth. As well, because majority of him owning this club, it's been relegation battles one season after another. Probably one season finish, and that was under Alan Pardew, the fifth, when we finished fifth this season. But yeah, as I mentioned, the been relegation battles. We've had 2 relegations under this manager. We've managed to come back up the first time. And it's not just that, really poor managers have been appointed at this football club. We're handing out silly contracts. For example, Pardew goes to a 5th place finish, but it's Alan Pardew, and you don't hand it straight 8-year-out contract to him. The others, I mean, the thought of success out. Assistant John Carver was going to succeed after that. We suffered 8 defeats on the row, and then we're going to appoint a manager after that who couldn't get an England team into a Euro 2008 tournament, and that happened, and that was a relegation. We appointed Rafa too late. Okay, Rafa did keep winning. He managed to keep this club steady and managed to get the players up and performing, but then he had broken promises and he decided enough was enough. He wanted to be out as soon as his contract expired.
Yep.
And then we go and apply a manager who's pretty much CV lies in the Championship, and his Premier League stats are one of the worst I've seen under Steve Bruce. I think if he was still in charge, I think relegation would have been a certainty because
100%. 100%.
his tactics are one of the worst. His style of football is terrible. He would set up defensively in a football match. Majority going five at the back. All the players are crammed into their own half and not pushing forward, and it was just horrible to watch.
It's horrible to watch. It's
as soon as
depressing.
The owner managers had a look and says, "All right, we'll give you 1,000 game as a Premier League manager," but after that, I just thought enough was enough. We've seen what the previous his styles of play happened. His first season, his last season. I don't know how we finished 12th. We should have been down. I thought that season because of the way we were playing. But yeah, new ownership comes in, says, "Why have you 1,000 a game?" We'll have a look at that. I thought that's enough. It's time to go. And Steve Bruce was relieved of his duties. And they did try give Graham Jones 3 games. He's not a number one. He has tried, but you could tell he's more.
Yeah, well, it didn't go well at Luton. I think that's the only other senior management job that he's had where he's been the main man in charge. So, I mean, that tells you all you like, really. I think he's a good coach. I think he's a fantastic number 2. And I'm very happy that he stays on under Eddie Howe. I hope he does. But yeah, he was never going to be the long-term replacement now. I think he even knew that himself, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, I think Jones come out and said...
one thing that I thought I'd just ask you about, which I've just seen recently, I've seen... actually, while my power's out, I still had some data on my phone. But I see Steven Gerrard just pretty much got the Aston Villa job, or he's very close to being the new Aston Villa manager. Is that something that we've lost out on there, or are we still confident Eddie Howe is the right man for us?
The thing is, Eddie Howe's been in the managed in the Premier League, but Steven Gerrard hasn't yet. But I'm definitely gonna give Eddie Howe a chance here. I think he did very well with the Bournemouth side, taken up from League 2 all the way to Premier League, kept them in the Premier League for 5 seasons. Last season, all right, did go according to plan, but I think his team was rocked with injuries hit on that season, and it just didn't really help him at all. But what I do like about Eddie Howe, he likes to go attacking style with his style of football, which we have not had that under Steve Bruce at all. And you can tell when he comes in straight away, got the players in for training on the international break, which is good. And
for sure,
he means business.
Not that many of them get called up for their countries. Yeah,
only probably a couple from our side.
Yep,
not many at all.
So if Gerrard has now gone to Villa, obviously he was no longer in the running. I don't know where he was on sort of the pecking order. I mean, these things come out years later that we would have spoken to him or spoken to his management and he didn't want the job. There's always these stories that come out years on.
Yeah.
But the main names that were linked before Eddie Howe got the job were Paulo Fonseca and Emery from Villarreal, former Arsenal manager. And there were another few names banded about. I saw Roberto Martinez was there, obviously Gerrard. I saw one point I even saw Thierry Henry. I saw Wayne Rooney. I mean, there were a lot of strange names being banded about. But Eddie Howe didn't seem to be the first choice. I don't know if he was even the second choice. The only definite approach we made for a manager was for Emery, and he obviously turned us down after some consideration. But who would you have taken? Would you have taken Eddie Howe as your first choice? Because to me, and I know Eddie Howe is a good coach, but this is the dawn of a new era, and the first appointment you make represents that new era. And I've been on other, football streams, and they've asked me this question, who did you want? I wanted someone like a Ten Hag or something like that, and Edwin van der Sar maybe as the director of football. And I'm not going to lie to you, Proudy, I was kind of underwhelmed with Eddie Howe's appointment. I know,
Mhm.
some people are not going to agree with that, and he's a fantastic manager. I mean, what he did with Bournemouth, incredible. But was it not just a little bit underwhelming?
No, I wouldn't say it was all underwhelming because you think about it. Yes, well, now one of the richest clubs now in the world, and
The
a lot want
richest
to try
club.
and get a top manager. And you think, oh, they want to try and get a top manager in, but
Mm.
the club are sitting 19th in the table in a really serious relegation battle at the moment of time. So that is going to technically put the top managers off for a while. They're thinking, oh, I don't want relegation on my CV if that was to happen. So I can understand it. In a way, my choice at first I was going to say was Conte, but he's now gone to Spurs. But apparently, he didn't want the job. As well, Fonseca, I don't know what happened there. That seemed to have quieted down. And of course, Emery wanted to stay at Villarreal. He's won them the Europa League. He's got
Yeah.
them in a Champions League football, and he's thinking, "Oh, why should I leave that club where I'm doing a pretty decent job to come all the way to one of the, even though they're one of the richest clubs, but are sitting second bottom in the league table." So you
Is
can kind of
the
understand it in a
Yeah,
way.
yeah.
So I think Eddie Howe it was definitely a smart option to get him in the football club, and I can see what he's been doing with the lads, and he's ready to go. I think he's been in business and he's not wasting any time.
Yeah, we've seen some of the videos that have come out. I'm sure you follow the club on social media. You'll see that there's videos of
Yeah,
them in training. There's videos of him, actually doing some sort of tactical training. And I'm sure the players
yep,
under Steve Bruce have been like, well, what is this? What is this tactical training? He's making
yeah,
us play 1-2s. He's making
yeah,
us make third person runs. I mean, I saw just one small clip of him doing a couple of training drills with a few of the forward players, where you've got two players passing, and a third player
mhm,
making a diagonal run for the pass that's coming after the play between the two players. And I mean,
yep.
as a Newcastle fan, I'm looking at that thinking that's genius. But probably looking at other fans looking at that is like, well, that's how we train every day. So it comes back to what you were saying about the style of training under Steve Bruce, and the lack of tactics, and the lack of basically
And
football
I
coaching
think
that was
we
going on.
only and I think under Steve Bruce, I think we were only training about 2 or 3 days a week, which is simply not enough. When I think I'm pretty sure, like Bielsa at Leeds, he gets his players in 5 days a week.
Probably.
Graham Jones got them in five. Yeah, as soon as Graham Jones stepped in for interim manager, he got them in 5 days a week as well.
Yeah. No, 100%.